Hey, this is Dr. Willie Jolly. I am so excited to take a moment to tell you about my friend, Dr. Keith Johnson. He is the best speaker in the world on the topic of confidence.
For over 22 years on nearly every continent, bringing his message of confidence to over 1.5 million people, Amazon best-selling author and America's #1 confidence coach, Dr. Keith Johnson has transformed people from all walks of life.
It may be one of the most powerful speakers I've ever seen.
Dr. Johnson has worked alongside some of the most influential thought leaders, such as Les Brown, the world's #1 motivational speaker, who said, Keith Johnson has unique insights, humor, and teaches life-changing principles that will increase your confidence and allow you to more fully live your purpose. As a founding member of the John Maxwell team, Keith understands the power of honest communication and the strategies for effective leadership. Dr. Keith Johnson has spoken in some of the largest churches in the world and frequently presents for Get Motivated business seminars, the largest speaking tour in the United States. Dr. Keith Johnson has also been featured on many popular national television shows. Women's World, the most read magazine for women across the globe, recognized him as one of America's ultimate experts on confidence. Whether you want to lead a business, organization, sales team, or a church, nothing happens until you gain more confidence. Are you ready for a positive change? This is your moment, an opportunity for you to be inspired and transformed by a proven expert. Everybody, please stand to your feet and welcome to the stage America's #1 confidence coach, Dr. Keith Johnson.
Hello, welcome everybody to the Leaders of Destiny experience. I am so glad that you have joined me today. Let me get a good look at who all is here. Let me see you. Okay, wow, let me see every single one of you. Wow, what an amazing group. I am so fortunate. You know what? Everywhere I go, in every seminar I do, only good-looking, smart, and successful people show up to my seminars. Hey, here's what I learned a long time ago. 80% of success is just showing up. So what I want you to do with me is I just want you to take your hand like this and bring it around and pat yourself on the back and say, good job, all right? Yeah, come on, do it with us, do it with us. Take your hand, tell yourself, good job. I'm so excited about this message here today. I'm going to be talking about my book called Leaders of Destiny. You know, birds build nests, bees build beehives, beavers build dams, but leaders build futures. And that's what today is all about. Let me start by asking you this question. How important is it to you that you maximize the rest of the days of your life? I want you to think about that. How important is it to you that you maximize the rest of the days of your life? Now, all of us here, we all want to grow. We all want to scale. We all want to get things moving faster and quicker than what they are right now, whether that's in our life, whether that's in our businesses, whether that's in our ministries, or whether that's in our organizations. All of us are looking to go to that next level. And so when we think of the question, how important is it to you to maximize the rest of the days of your life, it's a very important question. Now, if you'd asked me that question when I was 16 years old, I'd have kind of said, maximize the rest of the days of my life. The only thing I was thinking about when I was 16 years old was girls. When I look at that question, at this age of my life, I really have to think, man, it's really, really important to me that I grow, that I scale, and that I begin to get things done faster and quicker than ever in my life. I'll never forget the day I was 38 years old, and when I was in my 20s, I set some goals, some lifetime dreams and lifetime goals. and I wrote them all down on a notepad. And by the time I was 38, I had accomplished every single one of my lifetime goals. And it was during that phase of my life I was struggling. I was plateauing in my life. I was plateauing in my business. I was plateauing in building my organization. And I knew something was wrong. Now, I'd achieved success, but I wanted to go to that next level, but I didn't know what was wrong with me as a leader. I just knew something was wrong. So I said, man, I'm going to hire a coach. So I hired Bob Beal, which in my opinion is one of the most amazing coaches of our generation. And I'll never forget the trip that I made to go and be coached by Bob Beal. And I sat down with him and I asked him, Bob, can you help me with this? I don't know what exactly is wrong. And Bob looked at me and he says, I can tell you exactly what's wrong with you. I'm like, what? He said, you lack life confidence. And when he said that, it's like life confidence. Now you got to understand something. I had already written a book on my confidence manifesto, everything that I learned about confidence. I was the confidence coach, and here was this guy telling me that I lacked life confidence. I'm like, I never even heard of such a term. And I said, Bob, what in the world is life confidence? And here's what he said to me. And I really hope that you'll write this down. He said this. He said, Keith, life confidence is when you have a crystal clear picture of your future. Now I want you to get that. Life confidence is when you have a crystal clear, those two words, crystal clear. Make sure you write that down. Life confidence when you have a crystal clear picture of your future, you know your purpose in life, and you have a detailed plan on exactly how you're going to get there. And he looked at me and he said, tell me, where are you going? Tell me, what is your purpose in your life? He said, tell me, show me, where's your detailed plan on how you're going to get there for you and your organization? And when he said that to me, I'm like, And all of a sudden in that moment, I realized that success had blinded me. That there was a new level that I needed to go to. And I realized in that moment that I wasn't crystal clear at all of what I was going to do next, of where I was taking my life, my business, and my organization. And you know, there's an old ancient proverb that says this. It says, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. Wow. Write the vision, make it plain. And what did Bob tell me? He said, you need to have a crystal clear picture of your future. You want to scale? You want to grow? You want things to speed up, Keith? You're not clear. You don't have a clear vision. And wow, when I realized that, I realized that I had some serious work to do in my own life. Now, what I want to show you is that there's different types of confidence. There's situational confidence. This is the confidence that you operate in when you know your area of expertise. So it's like you're in a situation, you're doing what you do, and you've done it over and over and over again. So, you have confidence in doing what you do right now. Then there's also that God confidence. God confidence comes by knowing that no matter what, that God loves me unconditionally. Then there's also self-confidence. What's self-confidence? Self-confidence is when you love yourself. Not that you just know that God loves you. Self-confidence is when you love yourself and celebrate your difference. Then there's life confidence. What Bob just taught me. By revealing to me that life confidence is all about you know your destiny, you know your purpose, and you have a detailed plan. So life confidence comes when you know where you're going. Not you think, maybe, I don't know, but you know that you're moving toward your destiny, you're functioning in your purpose, and you got this detailed plan that you're working on to help you get there. And then there's what I call leadership confidence. Leadership confidence is knowing what you need to do next. You know why it's important. And then finally, you know how to get the resources that are necessary to help you get there. And you know what I find is that many people, they lack both life confidence, they don't know where they're going, they don't have a plan. And then a lot of leaders I run into, they don't really know what to do next, and they don't know what's important. And I find a lot of times we get stuck in getting the resources that are necessary. But that day with Bob Beal, I discovered something. I discovered what I call the 3 big destiny killers. I call it the destiny killers triangle. Because here's what I found. Success can leave you in a fog. That's right. And one of the key things that can kill your dreams, that can stop you from growing, from scaling, from experiencing acceleration in whatever you're setting out to do in life, is the fog. See, success, when I achieved it, I had the big house, I had the nice cars, I had the money, I had the nice clothes, I had everything. I achieved what I dreamed about. But then success put me in a place of what next? And I didn't even know it, but I was going through life at that stage in a fog because I wasn't crystal clear. I didn't really know. I was just doing what I knew to do with no sense of clear vision of where I wanted to go. And when you operate in the fog, guess what happens to you? You get fatigue. You get tired. And that was me. I was traveling the world. I was speaking. I was training. I was writing. I was doing all the things I knew to do. But I was in a fog. I got fatigue. I got tired. And a tired mind, when fatigue walks in, faith walks out. And because I was fatigued, I went into a season of flirtations. Now you say, what are flirtations? Did you flirt with the thoughts of another woman? No, not me, but some people do. But I'm not really talking about flirtations about leaving your wife or stuff like that. No, I'm talking about a greater flirtation. A flirtation that says maybe I ought to go do something else. A flirtation that says maybe I should quit. A flirtation that says maybe this is the end of the road. Let me tell you, my friend, I have seen more people give up on their destiny, give up on their dreams, because they end up in a foggy place. I see so many people who will say to me in conferences all around the world, I feel stuck, I feel stuck, I feel like my life is moving at turtle pace. When are things going to speed up? And here's why things are going slow for you, my friend. You're trying to drive into your future in a fog. Now, I love speed. I'm going to tell you, I love speed. The culture loves speed. Everything in life right now, it's all about speed. That's the culture. And you have to go fast. You can't go slow in this culture. And I love to go fast. I got to admit, I love fast cars. Yeah. And my favorite car, I want to show it to you right here. It's called the Ultimate Aurora. Man, I love this. Here's my favorite one. The Ultimate Aurora. This is my dream car right here. This car right here literally set the Guinness Book of World Records for the fastest production car. I believe it went something like 257 miles per hour. The car has 1,000 and about 1,100 to 1,200 horsepower. This thing can go 0 to 60 in 2.7 seconds. So 1,001, 1,002, bam, it's already at 60 miles per hour. Isn't she a beauty? Isn't she a beauty? Don't you love that? Yeah, I love that. I love that. I love the color of the car. I like fast cars. Now, this car here will cost you about $250,000. Now, let's look at another car. How about the Ford Fusion? The Ford Fusion. 175 horsepower, can go 1 to 60 miles per hour in about 4 hours. And no, just kidding. But the Ford Focus, it's about a $23,000 car, right? Versus a $250,000 car. And yet, I want you to think about something. When you look at these two cars, right? When you look at these two cars, both of these cars can take you to point A to point Z, right? They both have air conditioning. They both have cruise control. They both have, power windows and all those kind of things. Both of them, right, can carry out the purpose to get you to where you want to go. And if we took both of these cars, the Ultimate and the Ford Fusion, and we line them up to race, and as we line them up, now it's a foggy day. It's really foggy. I mean, you could barely even see ahead of you. My question is, if we line those two cars up, which car at the end of the day will probably win the race? Now, I don't know about you, but if it's super duper foggy and I'm going to drive my Ultimate Aurora, I'm going to tell you what, if it's super foggy, I'm going to be super hesitant to mash on the accelerator, right? Hey man, this is $250,000 car. Now, if I'm in the Ford Focus, it costs me $23,000, $25,000. I'm like, all right, hey, whatever. I can just go as fast as I want. And there's a possibility, if you think about it, on a foggy day, the Ford Focus could possibly beat the Ultimate Aurora. The Ultimate Aurora has tremendous potential, tremendous horsepower inside, but it's restricted. It can't unleash that power because it's in the fog. And my dear friend, here's the challenge for you. You see, you have tremendous horsepower inside of you. You have strengths, you have talents, you have skills. You have tremendous abilities inside of you, right? But if you're going through life in the fog, your potential is going to be reduced. So you can have ultimate potential, but be producing only Ford Fusion results in your life. Okay? So this is so very important that we understand that in order to scale, in order to accelerate, in order to move forward faster and quicker and take our lives to the next level, you need one word when you're in a fog. It's just one word. You need clarity. Clarity, my friend, is power. And what I realized from my coach, Bob Beal, I realized, wow, I was living life in the fog. And because I was living life in the fog, because I achieved a degree of success, I was now hesitant. I was now playing it safe. And I wasn't mashing on the accelerator so that I could go forward in my future. And in order to do that, you've got to have clarity. Remember that old song? I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. That's right. And so Bob helped me get clarity back in my life. And here's what I want to tell you. Clarity is powerful. When you get clear, here's what happens to you. You start attracting the right people that you need in your life to help you to get to your destination. When you get clear, you start attracting the money that you need to fund and to fuel your dreams. When you get clear, watch this, opportunities start coming your way. But when you're in the fog, people don't come. When you're in the fog, opportunities don't come. When you're in the fog, the money that you need doesn't show up. My friend, I've been coaching people for over 20 years, and here's what I found that was true in my life, and it's true in my client's life, that the moment I help my clients over the years get clear, positive things start happening to them in their life. They start moving with greater speed. They start scaling. They start growing. They start accelerating. And they experience results that are ultimate aurora results. Wow results instead of forward focus results. And by the way, no, a forward focus gets nobody's attention. You have aurora potential. And once we unleash that potential, that's when you start capturing the attention of other people in the world. Now, sailors in the old days, before we had our smartphones, before we had GPSs, before we had things in our cars that would tell us where to turn and where to go, sailors in the old days, they had to depend on the North Star. As they were sailing across oceans, they had to look to the North Star for direction. And see, that's part of life confidence, right? That's part of leading with confidence, is bringing direction. Where are we headed? Where are we going? Because storms can come, right? The fog can come in. The storm can come in. We can experience very dark days on our journey to achieving our dreams, just like a sailor would going across the vast ocean. But the sailors would use the North Star and look to the North Star to get their direction back. See, many of you who are listening and have joined us here today, you're looking for direction. What do I need to do next? And I want to share what I call my North Star. Once you get the North Star in focus and you get clear on the North Star, then you can start moving, growing, and scaling to where you want to be. So let me show you this North Star here. First of all, on the North Star, you got to answer this question. Where are you going? Where? What does the picture of the future of where you're going look like? That's the first question you've got to ask yourself if you're going to get clear. And really, if you think about it, that's the first responsibility of a leader. The first responsibility of a leader, I don't care what organization it is, and especially if you're leading your own life, the first question is, where do you want to go? What does the picture of the future look like? You got to see. That's your responsibility as a leader. And it's so very important that you answer that question. When I was with Bob, I couldn't answer that question. Success had blinded me. I had already achieved everything. And I didn't know exactly where I wanted to go in the next decade of my life. So it is with you. Is it so very important that you see into the future, that you tap into your imagination and go into the future and see a bigger and grander future than where you're at this stage of your life, than where your business is, where your ministries are, where your life is. You got to go in. You got to see it. That's your job as a leader, to point everybody to this is where we are going. And you got to answer that question. What does the picture look like? The second thing on the North Star is why. Why answers the question of why am I here? That's purpose. Why am I here? What's my purpose in life? The two greatest days of your life, day one was the day you were born. Day two was the day you discovered why you were born. So in order to get clear, number one, you got to know where you're going. You got to have that picture. Number two, you got to know why you are here. What is your purpose? Number three, you got to know when. When, ask the question, when are my target dates? See, as you begin to move towards your dreams, you got to set target dates. It's so important that once you set a date, it demands your focus. Have you ever wanted to go on vacation and you're like, man, I'm going to take a whole week off, and you're getting ready for that vacation, and the week before, right? You know you're going on vacation next week, so this week you got to do twice as much so that you could go the next week and have fun. And what happens that week? That week, because you have a target date of when you're going to go on the vacation, you've set that date, guess what you do? You produce twice as much when you have a target date of when you want to achieve it than what you do if you just say, oh, well, I'm going to go on vacation 10 years from now, one of these days. And what I find as a coach is most people, they don't have any target dates. I mean, come on, we have young people who are setting goals to be millionaires by the time they're 30, and they're hitting it. You got to set a date. There's something powerful. It focuses you. It causes you to not be distracted by telephone calls, basketball games, and all of this other kind of stuff that can distract you. It makes you become razor focused when you set a target date. The next one is how. How am I going to achieve this? And how is the plan, right? What's the plan that you have written down? It's the second part of what Bob Beal said. Where is your strategic plan on how you're going to do this step by step? There's an ancient proverb. I love this proverb. It says, a successful enterprise is built by what? Wise planning. This was written by the fifth wealthiest man in the world, and literally the first trillionaire that ever existed. And he said, an enterprise, a business, is built by what? Wise planning. Becomes strong through common sense and profits wonderfully by keeping abreast of what? Of the facts. And so it's so important for you to understand that you got to have the how. You got to have the plan. Now, we've all heard what? We've all heard the saying, if you fail to plan, you are planning to what? Fail. And all of us, let me see your hands. All of us agree with that, right? Yeah, we all agree with that. But let me ask you, do you have a plan? Do you have it in detail? Do you have it written out step by step? What are you going to do the next 30 days, the next 90 days, the next year? Do you have it all laid out strategically? Here's what I know. 98% of people, 98% of businesses have no plan at all. I love what this billionaire said. T-Bone Pickens from Texas. He said this. He said, "A fool with a plan can outsmart a genius with no plan." Wow. So when I went to Bob, I said, man, I don't have a plan. So I spent a whole year, because Bob challenged me. He said, hey, what if you just took a year and all you did was get just super focused on where you're going to go over the next decade. You just really discovered your purpose, and then from the place of knowing where you're going to go, that you step back and then you write out a detailed plan on exactly how you're going to get there. And that's exactly what I did. And it took me a year. And so that's where I created what's called the Destiny Arrow. It's a strategic planning process that, first of all, I took myself through and I designed for myself. And then after I designed it for myself, I started discovering, OMG, there are people all over the world who need outlines, a system, a structure to help them plan their futures, to help them plan their teams, to help them lay out everything that they needed so that they can move forward with clarity and purpose and a plan. And so I created this chart called the Destiny Arrow. And it's an amazing thing because I used a target at the end, because whenever you go shooting arrows, they teach you don't just aim at the target, right? They say aim at the bullseye. Because at worst, if you're aiming at the bullseye, you'll at least hit the target somewhere. If all you're aiming for is a target, you're probably going to miss it. So what I do is I help our clients and my coaches, we help our clients with the very first step, the picture. We help our clients get razor sharp and get that sense of clarity, because it's important to be razor sharp. That arrow has to be razor sharp, because a rounded arrow makes no penetration. And so what we do is help you get really clear on what the next 10 years of your life needs to look like. And we have a chart where we chart that down so that you know exactly where you're going, because you can't get your team to know where you're going if you don't know where you're going. Your team can't plan. Your team can't strategize. This has to come from the leader. Where are we going, leader? And we help you get clear. Then we help you shape your purpose. Why do you exist? Your why gives you fuel to move forward. We shape your departments. Okay, now that you know where you're going, now what kind of team do you need? See, you can't even pick your team until you know where you're going. Now, what kind of team are you going to need to have? Now, what kind of ideas do you have? What's your target goals? What's your roadblocks? What's your dreams? And we start helping you with a 12-step process that takes you through this thing, where at the end, when it's all said and done, if I was to ask you, are you crystal clear on your future? You'll say 100% with confidence. Do you know your purpose? You'd say, I absolutely do. I'd say, okay, show me your detailed plan on how you're going to get to where you're going to go. And you could roll this chart out, say, here is my plan. You see, and I love it. I made it big. Sometimes you see these people make little tiny ones. Man, you don't want to. Why would you have a big dream and try to fit it on a 8.5 by 7 piece of paper? You need it big. You need to display it so you can see it, so your team can see it. Just like that proverb said, you write the vision, you put it out on the tablet, so the people that can see it, they can run with it. You see, once everybody is going in the same direction, now you experience breakthrough results, such as which that you've never seen before. I know, I went through the process myself, and that process launched me to becoming known as America's #1 confidence coach. It launched me to becoming a multi-million-dollar producer. It launched me to seeing and becoming everything that you saw in the video. This, to me, was the game changer in my life. And I have seen it over and over and over again in so many different clients' life as they've followed through on these steps, that it was a game changer and helped them go to the next level. My friend, here's the truth. A dream without a strategic plan is a fantasy. And a dream without taking massive action will simply become a nightmare in your life. So, here's the North Star. Where? Where are you going? Got to have a picture. Why am I here? What's your purpose? Where's your targets? When are you gonna hit it? When are you gonna hit the mark? Next one is how. Where's your plan on how you're gonna do it? And the fifth one is who. Who's coaching you? That's the big one. Because you see, what I found is it's hard to see the picture when I'm in the picture frame. I needed Bob Beal to coach me, to help me, because my team couldn't do it. My wife was in the picture frame. My friends, my family, they were in the picture frame. And because they were in the picture frame, I couldn't see what was going on inside the picture. I had to have someone from the outside help me. So here's the question, the hard question I want to ask you. Do you have someone in your life who's not impressed with your current accomplishments or your status, who will stretch you toward your full potential? That's what you gotta answer that question. Do you really have somebody? What I find is many people, they get a bunch of cheerleaders around their life that say rah, 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 but few people have real coaches who will get in your face, who's not impressed with your current level of achievement or your little status, and who will get in your face and say, you can be more, you could be doing more, you could be having more. Man, you could be helping more people. Who is pointing the finger in your face and saying, you're playing too small? Few people have that. Listen, I'm going to go to this video, and I love this. One of my clients that I've been coaching throughout the years came over from South Africa with $400 in his pocket and went through this whole coaching program, this whole coaching process, and today he's built a millions of $1 million. His organization is just mammoth. He is doing really big things, and I love it, man, because he likes fast cars too. So he's cruising around in his Maserati. So I want to just go to this video real quick to just give you an idea of what's possible for you.
Hi, my name is Martijn van Tilborg. I'm the owner of Four Rivers Media. We come alongside influencers to help bring their message to market. And we started our company in 2008. It was definitely a day of small beginnings. And we grew out to be a multi-million-dollar company, specifically doing business in the Christian space, helping Christian leaders bring their message to market. And along the way, I met somebody named Dr. Keith Johnson. And I just wanted to give him a shout out today. Keith Johnson has been a tremendous blessing. He is a godsend. I always look back to the 12 years that we've been in business, and there's different phases of growth that I can identify. And at the foundation of every growth spurt was a strategic alliance. And I can truthfully say that the relationship with Keith Johnson has been such a relationship. He's been a mentor, he's been a coach. His teaching has inspired me to think bigger. His coaching program has helped me to see beyond my current circumstance into the future, and it has definitely helped me grow the company. And besides the favor of the Lord, Keith really has helped me become who we are today. And for that I want to thank you, and I want to encourage everybody to check him out, find out what he stands for. He brings tremendous value. He's an out-of-the-box thinker. He is somebody that doesn't think small. So if comfort and small thinking and safety is your forte, don't do anything with him, because he's definitely going to get you out of your comfort zone. But as he does that, you'll experience something that you probably haven't experienced before. He's a great guy. You're going to love him, and I encourage you to connect with him. Keith, you're a blessing, man.
Wow. Thank you, Martijn. I appreciate it so much. And that's the key, my friend. If you're going to scale, if you're going to go to that next level, you need somebody in your life that can help you take that big leap so that you can accelerate what you're doing, so that you can grow and scale from where you are. Now, there's three kinds of leaders that I find, that I've run into, as I've spent 25 plus years coaching different leaders from literally all around the world. The first kind of leader is the leader that has no direction. It's kind of like where I was. I experienced a degree of success, and I had absolutely no direction at all. I was just doing the same old thing day in and day out. Whenever you have no direction, you'll always face confusion, you'll be insecure, and you won't take action, because a confused mind does nothing. So the big thing you need is what? Clarity on the direction that you need to take. And sadly, most leaders, they're not clear at all, so they don't know the next step. The second kind of leader is the person that has unclear direction but keeps taking action. Have you met any of them? They don't know what they're supposed to be doing, but they just know, if I just keep working, and they hear all these things on social media, just grind, get in the grind, just keep on grinding and grinding. Well, what if you're grinding and you're heading in the wrong direction? What if you're grinding and you keep doing stupid stuff over and over and over again? Grinding and more action isn't always necessary what you need to do. Just take massive action. No, you need to take massive, intelligent action. So a lot of leaders are unclear in their direction, but man, they're hard workers because they're ingrained. I got to work hard, got to work hard. And what happens with these kind of people? They're stressed out, they're insecure, they're tired, they're fatigued, and they experience poor productivity. Why? It's like you're a world-class sprinter and you're running in a mud puddle, going nowhere, working really hard, and you're tired, and now you want to quit. Here's the third kind of leader, and this is the leader I want you to become. A leader that has clear direction and takes intelligent action. That leader will experience, who they're aiming at the bullseye. They know exactly where they're going. That leader will experience acceleration. You'll have confidence, because confidence is not about just thinking positive. Confidence is an inner knowing. When you're clear, you have this inner knowing. I know where I'm going. That's confidence. And then you'll experience maximum productivity, because you're not going in circles. You're not going round and round. You're not going in 100 different directions. You're going in one direction so that you can get the breakthroughs that you're looking for. So let me ask you a question. Do you feel like you're spinning your wheels? You feel like you're spinning the wheels? You're running, working hard, but not moving forward? That's because you need traction. Traction. You need a track, which is a plan, right? You need a plan. This becomes your track. This is your plan. And then a lot of leaders, they don't have a track. They don't have any kind of plans at all. I run into. But they'll take a lot of action. Then I run into other leaders, they got all kinds of plans on the wall, but they never take action. So you need both, right? You need a track, plus you need to take massive action, which is where accountability with your coach comes into play, to have someone who will hold you accountable to taking the actions that you decided to take. Now, what I do when I help leaders, I take leaders through what I call the CSP process to get accelerated results in their life. First thing I help them do, which we talked about throughout this time, is we help you get clarity. We help you get clear on the direction of where you need to go. The second thing we do is we help you set up your structure. And the third thing in the process is we help you set up your plan, as we talked about. But let's talk real quick about your structure. Because some of you want to scale, you want to grow, you want to accelerate, you want to have greater influence, greater impact. But a lot of you need help setting up the right structure so that you can scale and you can speed up the process. And let me just illustrate it with this picture here. And here's the thought. Systems plus structure will determine the size and the speed of your organizations and of your life. Systems plus structure will determine the size and the speed of your organization. I find a lot of organizations, they don't have the right systems and they don't have the right structures. I've studied multi-billion-dollar businesses, and I discovered that I did a massive case study, and I've discovered that they all have a very similar structure that's in place that causes them to have success. And what do? You don't put the structure in when you are a multi-billion-dollar business. You got to start where you're at with the right structure and with the right systems. Then you can scale and go to the size and experience the speed that you want in your organization. Now, if you see on the screen here, you'll see the two different trains. On one side is the old school train with the steam engines. And remember, they used to lay down a track with wood going across, and then they had the rails. And those old school trains could go 75 to a maximum of maybe 95 miles per hour. They could only carry so much weight. They were restricted with weight. And they were very slow. And they were on this train track structure. Well, what had to happen to go to the next level? Because on the right side, you'll see this train, right? This train can go something like 357 miles per hour, can carry 10 times the weight of the old trains. And why is that? Because this train, the modern train, is not, hear me, is not built on the old structure. The old model of two rails with with the wood going across, that doesn't work. You can only go so fast on that structure. You could only scale so big on the train with that structure. What did they have to do? They had to change the structure. They had to change the systems so the new trains could go faster, could go further, and so that they could carry more passengers and more weight. And it's the same thing with you as a leader in your organization. you're going to have to know what is the structure that I'm going to need. And one of the things that we do to help you is not just with your clarity, not just with your plan, but we help you establish the structure that you need to put in place so what you're doing can scale. See, at this point, your structure and your systems can't handle taking what you want to do 10x. Everybody's talking about 10x. You can't handle 10x right now because you're trying to build on a limited structure. Let me show you this. Many of you are in some different places. But the natural process of any organization, any person's life, we go through 3 phases. We have survival, where we're just starting up. We have success, where we hit a place of success in our life. But the ultimate place we want to arrive at is not just success, we want to move into significance. This is about building something that will outlast us, outlive us. This is about something that will impact millions, if not billions of people around the world. And no matter who you are, we all go through this process. We're starting up and we begin to move up and we experience, like I talked to you about, you experience success. And then many people, once they hit success, they plateau. They end up plateauing and they stay in plateau. And then they exist in plateau until eventually they start declining. This is the natural process. Start up, success, plateau, decline. Where are you? Where are you on this chart? Now the key is that you got to realize once you hit success, you can plateau for a while and enjoy your success, all right? But eventually you got to see that D. You got to reinvent. You got to reimagine. You got to repicture again. You need a fresh sense of direction again so that you can go from success, scale and enjoy it for a while, but then set a new course. So then you can create a new North Star of where you're going to go, because that demands a reinvention of who you are. It demands a reinvention of your organization. It demands a strategic plan, that you do it smart, that you're not just saying, hey, I got this great vision, and you don't do it smart. But once you start reinvent, you move into E, you move into progress. You start experiencing accelerated progress. This is what I did. I was fortunate that at point D, I was plateauing, and I didn't know it, but I had a coach that came into my life at point D and said, Keith, you need to reimagine again. And I'm going to tell you, when I got clear, man, at 38 years old, when I look back now, the relationships that came into my life because I got clear, it's been amazing. The money that's come has been amazing. The opportunities that back when I was 38 that I was able to walk in, man, it was beyond what I ever imagined in my 30s, simply because of the power of clarity and knowing where I was going. As soon as that happened, attraction started happening in my life. And it will happen in your life also. Who do you have that will get in your face and tell you you could be more, you could be doing more, you could have more? Man, you could help way more people. Do you have someone in your life like that? Now, I know some of you who are listening, you may say, well, nobody's as big as me. I mean, I understand there's some people who are here who are really high achievers. And you think, well, I'm doing it all by myself because nobody's as big as me. Let me tell you, my friend, you don't have to be Tiger Woods to coach Tiger Woods. And here's what I'm going to encourage you. If you want to grow, if you want to scale, if you really want to experience acceleration, you got to stop doing it alone. You got to shrink your ego and say, man, I need help. Here's what I found. A big ego will always have a tiny bank account. A big ego will always have a tiny bank account. But a small ego, an ego that says, I need to learn, an ego that says, I need help from the outside, an ego that says, man, I need someone else to come help me. A small ego will eventually attract a really big bank account. When I go to business seminars, I always hear people talking about ROI. What's my return on my investment? ROI or ROI. But we don't hear people talk about COI. What's COI? Your cost of inaction. Your cost of inaction. Not your return on investment, but what's it cost you because you don't have a coach and you're trying to do it alone. Number one, it's cost you the size and speed. Number two, it's cost you because you don't have the people to help scale and grow. Number three, it's cost you what I call the big M, the momentum you need to break through to that next level. Number four, it's cost you resources, money, buildings, whatever you need to get you to where you need to go. So who's in your life? Who do you have? And I often think, if I were God, would I invest money, people, resources into somebody who's driving in a fog? No, I don't want to invest my money in someone who doesn't have a clear sense of where they're going. And you know, I was fortunate to have a great mentor by the name of John Maxwell in my life, and he said this back when I was in my early 20s, and it changed my life. He said, in 5 years from now, you'll be the same person you are now, except for the people you meet, the books you read, and the CDs that you listen to. And I would say one other thing, and the coaches that you hire. Very important. When you're 80 years old, the results of your life are going to center around the mentors and the coaches that you brought into your life over the history of your life. That's what's going to shape where you end up. And what I want you to do, what I want to challenge you to do, all of you who have joined us in this meeting and have committed to be here and said, hey, I want to be coached tonight, I want to challenge you to get a coach. Get a coach. Hey, get one in your own industry. Find somebody in your own industry, if you have to coach you. But get a coach. Get somebody who's not impressed with who you are, who's been there, who's done that. Get them and hire them to help you. You could get one of my coaches. I've trained coaches on how to take people through this 12-step process. You can get one of my coaches. And of course, you can get me if you like. And to learn more on how we can work together, just simply hit the apply button down below. That's all you got to do. So that's the action point. That's the next step that will change your life. And I believe that we all need challenged. A rubber band does not fulfill its purpose unless it's stretched. And we all, including myself, we all think we're doing the very best that we can. I'm doing my best. No, my friend, your best can get better. When I was in track and I would run the 400 meters, at the end of the 400 meters, I'd be like, oh man. My heart would be pumping. I could hardly breathe. And I said, man, I ran as fast as I could. I ran as far as I could. And then the coach, my track coach, blew his whistle, said, Johnson, another lap. I'm like, another lap, another lap. And what am I thinking in my head? No way. I know. There's no way I can run it. Johnson, another lap. And guess what? That coach pushed me beyond my mental limitations. And guess what? I ran another 400 meters. Not only did I run another 400 meters, he made me do it 4 times to break me out of my limited thinking. So, I want to challenge you. Challenges make champions, not chumps. I want to challenge you. Get a coach. Whoever it is, get a coach. Whether it's somebody in your industry, whether it's one of my coaches, or whether it's me. And if you want to work together, want to see how we can possibly do it, all you got to do is hit the apply button down below, and it'll take you to an application, and we'll see. We'll see if there's chemistry with the two of us, and we'll get on the path of growing, scaling, and accelerating your destiny.